Hello, welcome to McDonough, Georgia. I'm Ryan Maletsky, and this is Justin Murphy. We're your broadcast team for Georgia Revolution FC. And tonight's match will feature Georgia Revolution, as I mentioned earlier, and Greenville FC. This is the second year in a row that these two teams are kicking off their season against each other at Henry County High School. We're at Henry County High School, Warhawk Stadium, McDonough, Georgia. Once again, the weather's going to be 81 degrees. We thought it was going to be a lot of rain this afternoon, possibly some lightning, and thankfully it looks like the bad weather is holding off until later in the match, and it's going to be a comfortable, fun atmosphere.
Yeah, you know, I have to say, after last year when you kind of cursed us on that one broadcast, it seems like we've had a rain delay every single game. So hopefully the curse ends this year. So, you know, it's good. It's good atmosphere. It's not too humid. It's not too hot. You know, hopefully we'll get a good game in tonight.
And last year they kicked off the season, and Georgia Revolution came out guns and blazing and scored 3 goals in 21 minutes and ended up winning the match 3-1. Dion McCulley scored, Jason Henry scored, Adam Kamara scored, and then Michelangelo scored for Greenville FC. Michelangelo is back for Greenville FC this year. You know, building off of that performance, only got a 1-1 draw in Greenville. It's kind of a weird match. There's a weird goal scored for Greenville, kind of unusual.
It was an own goal.
Quirky, yeah,
it's okay. It happens.
And then Adam Kamara scored again for us in that match. But looking at those last year's matches, how can Georgia Revolution build off that momentum?
Well, you know, there's 3 keys to the game today. And the first one is start off fast, obviously, like we did last year. You know, 2 goals in the first, 6 minutes. That was huge. It takes Greenville off their game. They couldn't play the way they wanted to. We kind of dictated the game from there. And they figured it out eventually, but they scored 1. But, you know, having a quick start is paramount tonight. I guess the second key of the game would be the continuity. You know, one of the big problems that Greenville had last year coming into this game was that they weren't ready. They were meeting each other off the bus. And that's kind of what we have this year. We had a lot of guys come in, especially guys from, out of the country. They're coming in late. So, we got some guys that, they aren't quite up to terms with each other, but I think quality will come out in the end. And the final one, key to the game, would be our back line. Obviously, last year was not good. We gave up a lot of goals. We scored a lot, but we gave up a lot. I think the stat of the year last year was we didn't have the same back line and goalkeeper start any of the games. It was a different lineup every time. So it's very paramount that we get good back line play. Steo this offseason went out and made sure that he found a lot of good back line guys and depth. So that shouldn't be a problem, and hopefully we'll get it done. I
have 2 keys for Greenville to find success tonight. And number 1 is they only brought 3 defenders. Not just only 3 defenders are starting, but they only have 3 defenders total. And they're weak there. And their main defender, Toby Sims, who is arguably one of the best center backs in the conference last year for Greenville FC. He's returning for his 2nd year at Greenville, but he's not in the lineup today for Greenville FC. And they only have 1 player that has experience playing for Greenville FC in their back line tonight. So there's no chemistry for the Greenville FC squad, and they're vulnerable there. Georgia Revolution can attack early, attack often. Like you said, if they get a goal early, it could be devastation for Greenville FC. The morale could go down. So I think Greenville really has to step up on their back line. And then in their attack, guys have to make a name for themselves. They lose Malcolm Fraga. They lose Lawrence White. They lose a few other key guys in their attack that turned the cogs for Greenville FC last season. Frago found success outside the country, and then Lawrence White's playing with Lane United too, and he's tearing it up there.
Yep, right up the street.
Yeah, so good for him. But Greenville FC has to find new attackers. They have Lars Kalla, who was advertised to be a big-time goal scorer for Greenville FC. He has to step up. The Adrian Nunez kid, he's transferring into Clemson this year. And Adrian Nunez played for Bill Elliott's team. Bill Elliott's the head coach of Chattanooga Football Club. Excuse me. But Nunez likes to play the ball at his feet. He likes to create a lot of chances. He tricky dribbles a lot, which is something you don't see a lot in the NPSL. So on small pitches like this one that we're seeing tonight at Warhawk Stadium in McDonough, Georgia, is he going to have room to operate? We have a very physical midfield with Tony Tiente and some other guys. Is he going to find room? But he really has to create something for Greenville because they don't have a lot of guys returning that can create.
Yeah. Well, one of the good things that we like to say about here is last year we've had multiple guys that played for us last year that are now playing pro. either overseas or in the USL and things like that. Let's go ahead and talk about some of those guys.
Yeah, so Adam Kamara is playing in the third division in France. Then we have 2 guys playing tonight with Isaac Promise on Austin Bold, and then Clayton Adams is also on Austin Bold.
Yep, Isaac Promise, the was it all region?
Yeah,
all region, all South region.
7 goals last year for
goals.
Georgia Revolution FC. So some big shoes to fill in the attack for the Revs as well.
Yeah, we think we got a guy coming in called Kenny Dublé, coming to us from the USL, Louisville City, actually, 2-time defending USL champion. So he's got big shoes to fill, but coming from a quality team like that, I think we'll be good.
Yeah, and he's coming off the bench tonight for the Revs. And another guy, Alex Harley. He was a kind of a late addition to the Revs. He played for the Silverbacks before he played for Georgia Revolution FC. Then he came to us last season.
Key player,
definitely.
Key player. I mean, we would not have been
No.
in the playoffs had he not scored that goal in Knoxville to
Oh, yeah.
really clinch it for us. Because, like I said, this Greenville team, they were on our heels. I think we only finished 3 points ahead of them in the playoff spot. So, had we not scored that goal in Greenville from Alex Harley, we probably wouldn't have played in the playoffs and beaten New Orleans. So
Alex Harley was the key to the Chattanooga match. Also, we got a huge win against Chattanooga in Fort Finley.
Yep.
That was big. Now Alex Harley is playing for Las Vegas Lights FC and Eric Winalda.
Yes.
He used to coach in Atlanta, and he brought his own guy back up, and he actually scored against MLS side Toronto FC in a friendly. And they hung a banner.
Yep, they did. Yep, so he's going to be forever cemented in Las Vegas Lights history. So that's pretty cool seeing our guys go abroad and play well.
And then Jason Henry. He's in a promotion relegation fight in Spain.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, tomorrow he's got a game over in Spain playing for Alicante City. And they need 1 point, and they will be promoted to the next division. So, and he's scored 4 goals. He's came in late in the season for Alicante City, and he's contributed very well for that team. So that's always good once we have guys going abroad and really showing the Revs name.
We're going to discuss more on the broadcast Revs player and how we won the ADSL this year, and that's big for us. We're going to talk about that during the game tonight. Make sure you tweet us at Revs Live on Twitter. You can also tweet me at Raleigh Maletsky, last name MALEITZKE. And where can they find you on Twitter?
You can tweet me at jmurph_03.
And you can use the hashtag Revs Live. Keep it simple. We'll be checking your questions and comments throughout the match. You can interact us on the broadcast. And now let's go to the starting lineups. First for our Georgia Revolution FC.
All right, for Georgia Revolution, up top today we have Dion McCauley, returning from starting the game last year. Aaron Witten, local boy, very hero around here. Sajad Delaney, one of those members from the ADSL Championship squad. Returning midfielder Tony Tiente. Rodrigo Concalves, also from the ADSL Championship team. We have a guy called Brahan Gamara, who's coming to us from Myrtle Beach Mutiny. Very key player for them in the USL League 2. Our former captain from last year, Sagi Hurst, coming back on the back line. We have another guy, Thomas Herwig, comes for us from Austria, also playing in center back. We have Nathaniel Johnson, a local boy from Locust Grove, playing for us. And, of course, the big man on the back line, Jack Gurr. Always good to have him back. And we have Matija Glagorovic starting in the sticks for us today.
And Greenville FC came in a very interesting formation today. They're rocking it looks like a 3-4-2-2, which is a bold move. That's some might even say an Austin bold move for Greenville FC. But they have Paul the Wall Tyson, one of their big returning players from just up the road at Georgia State University. Then they have Javier Gonzalez in their back line, Jack Shields playing center back, and Harvey Moyes at right back. Then their midfield is going to have some combination of Manuel Perez, Tyler Bolton, Sinclair Sandy, Jamie Smith, and then their attacking midfield is going to be Adrian Nunez, the transfer coming in from Clemson. Be excited to watch him. Ettore Balistrasi, and then up top they have Lars Kalla manning the striker position. But real quick, since we're playing Greenville FC, we know there's a special dynamic with Jack Gurr and Greenville FC. Can you talk about that for a moment?
Yeah. Our buddies over in Greenville, the Middletown Operatives, they love Jack Gurr. They really like getting at him. I think they went back on Facebook when we went up there and found a picture of him from like 7 years before. And, really good. I'd love to see what Jack Gurr does tonight.
Fun banter for sure. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He gets up for the Greenville games especially.
Yeah, and we're missing our Middletown Operatives friends as they're not in the stands with us tonight. They're out there supporting their Greenville Triumph. They're going to be tuning in on this broadcast. So greetings to you guys. But we'll see you guys up in Greenville when Jack Gurr comes up there and trying to claim 3 points.
Yep, June 29th, I believe.
Yeah. Sounds right. We'll be right back on the broadcast momentarily. defensive play down. Jack Gurr has the ball. Jack Gurr makes a nice move. Jack Gurr with the run. Jack Gurr playing it up to Sahaj. Looking to send it into the box. Crosses back to Jack Gurr. Jack Gurr kind of dummies it there. And Deion McCauley at the top of the box. Deion McCauley looks to play it back to Soggy Hurst. Soggy Hurst, the top left corner of the box, sends it in to Paul Tyson. And Paul Tyson deals with it easily.
There again, another chance. And the deflection was scary. That could have been really bad for Greenville had it bounced a different way.
Yeah, I like that opportunity by Soggy Hurst there. Takes a shot. I like testing the keeper early, for sure.
I think we've seen early in this game as well the way the Revs like to attack both fullbacks, Jack and Soggy getting forward and getting balls into the box. And as you said, if Greenville keep letting that happen, I think it's not going to be too long before we see a big opportunity or a goal for Revs.
And let's talk about some of the options off the bench for Georgia Revolution real quick, because we know neither team has a first-choice lineup on the field right now. We have a lot of D1 players that aren't eligible, haven't finished finals yet. And then also some guys, international clearances haven't got cleared yet. But an attack for a Tory down the near side for Greenville. It makes a move. Soggy Hurst tries to defend him. He falls to the ground. Tory's still with it. Takes a shot that's deflected. And Tony Tiente clears the ball out to Ashad.
Now we really get a chance to counter. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that time. But that's the situations you really want to get in. You want to have them move up that way and keep our guys back. So when we get a turnover like that, because they only have 3 on the back line, we've got 3 fast guys that can break down their line and really get past them.
And Ettore, the guy that took the shot there, was deflected. He's out of Italy, and he went to the University of Charleston, where he made 1 appearance last season. But now Nathaniel Johnson has the ball, looking to play it long. Can't find any openings, passes back. I will say this is a quick steal by Greenville FC to break up play. Brandon tried to win the ball back, and he does just that as he looks for Dion. Quick ball played, and Sajad can't control it, and Greenville FC play it back to their goalkeeper, Paul Tyson, who applauds his back line after a great turn there to win the ball back.
That was a great ball by Brahan right there. That's what you want. That's how you unlock a 3-man back line like that.
The evolution of Georgia Revolution FC soccer has definitely been, in the first season, there wasn't much soccer being played. It was kind of, we sat back a lot and let other teams have possession the entire match in our first year in McDonough. And then we moved here last year, and we held possession in every match except the Chattanooga game, which we did win. We scored 6 goals against Chattanooga Football Club at Fort Finley. And we're seeing right out of the gate here against Greenville, Georgia Revolution are absolutely dominating possession. But as Atlanta soccer fans know, possession does not win championships.
Yeah, and possession is not the most important stat, that's for sure. It's good to have possession, but it's better to do something with the possession, as like you said, as Atlanta United fans have starting to figure it out this year.
But I think the cool thing here is we're not just making short passes, or we have the nice diagonal long balls, or playing attacking style of soccer. It's fun to watch. It's been a fun first 15 minutes. We're in the 16th minute, and it's still 0-0 between Georgia Revolution and Greenville FC.
Yeah, no shortage of good passes and connections and just up and down the pitch. That's what you want to see.
Yeah, and the rain has started to trickle down here as folks bring out their umbrellas, and it's getting a little bit darker.
I think it'll suit the Revs as well, make the field a bit slicker and the ball will move quicker. So I think Steele will be happy to see a bit of rain for sure.
Yeah, that wet surface is definitely a plus with the speed that we have on the team.
And going back to talking about our lineup and what it looks like, what are some options, Justin, off the bench that the Revs may start in upcoming matches that could have a potential to make a big impact on the Revolution season?
Well, I mean, we have Kenny Dublé, obviously the guy, striker from Louisville City, 2-time defending USL champ. You know, he's not quite ready. I think he's one of the guys that just came in town, so he's gonna have to get situated with everybody. But yeah, I mean, players like that. I mean, our depth this year is incredible. I mean, in my opinion, I think anybody we take off the field, we can replace with somebody just as good or even better from our bench, and that was a big key in the offseason when we were getting players in was we had a base, right? We had a core group of players that we know can perform in this league. Our goal in the offseason was to get players that could come off the bench and perform just as well. And I think we accomplished that. Just based on what I've seen from film and the few actual warm-up games we did have.
Yeah, and I know a few of these lads that maybe you guys haven't seen. Obviously, Jamar, from last season, a great option off the bench. And another player, Cameron, coming in, close friend of mine, played at GGC, was a great player before he got a bad injury, so he's coming back in. And I know he's raring to go, and I think the fans will really love to see him play. Pretty tough tackling midfielder, will also a bit like Tony non-stop. So, as you say, there's some great options on the bench for the Revs if things aren't going as well.
Javier Gonzalez plays the ball out of bounds for a Georgia Revolution FC throw-in, and it looks like Sagi Hirsch is going to be throwing in. Tries to play it to Rodrigo Gonçalves. We haven't really called his name tonight. Rodrigo was a big part of the Revolution last season. He was very versatile when we had all the turnover on our back line last year. Rodrigo stepped in, and he also can play in the midfield. That's probably his strongest position. Rodrigo, arguably one of the most versatile players in this roster.
Yeah, and not just for the NPSL squad. I mean, he was very key for our ADASL squad too. But the same thing. I mean, we play him in the center back. We play him in midfield. Just about anywhere on the field, he's like a Swiss Army knife out there. You can literally put him anywhere. I wouldn't put it past putting him up top and letting him, finish off a ball in the box. I really honestly think he could do it.
Well, speaking of guys that play up top that aren't usually up there, Sharpie. You had some experience last year playing PDL side, Peachtree MOBA, and you're a 6'7" goalkeeper. You play goalkeeper for us, and they put you at striker at the end of the game, and you almost had a bicycle kick.
I nearly scored a header too. But yeah, I've always, when I was younger, played outfield as well up front, and always enjoyed doing that. And I'm a good finisher. I'm not being modest at all, but something I've always enjoyed doing. And most keepers strike the ball well, so I do like to play up front as well, and it was a good experience. And just a shame I didn't get that goal that I nearly did. But
yeah, I got to say, my favorite part of that whole situation was when they put you up top and just the defender's eyes. They were like deer caught in headlights. They were like, what am I supposed to do with this guy? I think the defender came up to like the bottom of your chest. And the guy, he just looked like he didn't know what he was supposed to do with you being out there. That was fantastic.
And Sajad Delaney, a chance for Aaron Witten there, and he slides just past the goal. Couldn't quite get it there, but Jack Gurr with a absolutely phenomenal cross to Aaron Witten.
From Gurr. I mean, he's put it right in the postage stamp from there. I don't know, it'll be disappointing not to get on the end of that one, but not much more Gurr can do there.
Yeah, I guess you could say Gurr's picking up right where he left off last year.
No doubt, and I'm a full believer that if Jack Gurr was available for the 2 playoff games, we won against New Orleans, so it didn't make a difference, but the game against Chattanooga, we lost 2-0. We had a long road trip, a lot of weird variables that played into that, but Jack Gurr, if he was available, we might have had a shot at beating Chattanooga FC.
Oh, for sure. The fact that semifinal game against Chattanooga for us, we came with a makeshift great tackle. We came with a makeshift lineup anyways. We had a lot of guys leave.
Oh, and a tackle on Saji Hirsch, and he's on the ground.
It's got to be a card. Come on, guys.
Going to see our first card of the evening. I'm almost sure of that. Maybe. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't go into the book here.
Well,
looks like he's getting away with it.
wow.
And this might be a nomination for MLS. Did he make the call?
Red card or no? I mean, but obviously, this is NPSL, and last year we know all too well how the NPSL refs can be sometimes. So,
and that was Manuel Perez on the tackle there. He got away with nothing just short of a warning.
Yeah.
Well. Great tackle from Nate back there as well, Nathaniel. Just before that, something we're going to see a lot, I think, as well. His pace at the back is going to be huge for the Revs this season. Yeah, great job from him.
But talking about that makeshift roster heading into Chattanooga, we had Sergio Sierra out of Life University starting at the right back spot in Jack Gurr's place. He made 7 appearances on the year for the Revs, and at Life University he has 19 games. He scored in 4 of those for Life University. But what does he bring to the table? Is he a viable option for the Revs at right back if Jack gets hurt? Heaven forbid.
Well, yeah, it was really unfortunate for Sergio in that Chattanooga game. He was playing really well, and he had to come out in about, I think, 20 minutes into the game with a hamstring problem. And unfortunately, I think that's what ultimately did us in, because later in the game, I'm sure a lot of you have seen the video from Copa 90
Yeah.
Fantastic free kick goal. That was actually on that side of the field. Had Sergio been there, I don't think that free kick would have been given up.
Now, Aaron Witten has ball, and he has space for Rodrigo Gonçalves. Rodrigo looks like Manuel Perez wins the ball back for Greenville FC, and a great effort from the Greenville FC
That's
midfielder.
surprising to see from Rodrigo. He doesn't get beat one-on-one too many times like that.
And Aaron seems to be all over the place tonight. He's popping up everywhere, doing a great job for the team defensively too.
Well, I did say pregame that I wanted him to be man of the match, but I also told him I'd tell everybody that, so not to feel too special. But it looks like he's living up to the hype so far.
And Aaron Witten and Jack Gurr actually have a bit of a bet going on.
Yeah, they do.
I may have instigated a who scores more goals, who gets more assists conversation on the Twitter sphere. Jack's quite the instigator himself. So, who do you think wins that bet at the end of the year?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you, but I'd really like to know what they betted on. I don't think I've heard what the terms of that bet were. I'd be interested to see what it is.
Yeah, I think it's a financial bet from both of them. But, I mean, if Jack continues to play right back, which he probably will, and Aaron plays in the front three, I think Aaron's got to be the favourite just because of that. And if Jack does get ahead of him, then I think Aaron will be very disappointed. But you know Jack's quality on set pieces too, so I think he could rack up a few assists on them for sure.
Jack Gurr might be sending in all of Aaron's goals to him, though.
Yeah,
so it'll be interesting to see how that partnership links up. When we were watching the scrimmage between the ADSL side and our first team, we saw Jack Gurr and Aaron Witten linking up, and their chemistry's unbelievable.
Sure. They were the two best players on the pitch by far.
Yeah. And the ADSL side actually walked away with a victory.
Yeah, 3-1. And I it's funny because I told some of the MPSL guys not to take our ADSL guys lightly. And they may play in a different league, but our ADSL squad was champions for a reason, and I think they showed it in that scrimmage for sure.
Yeah, a lot of them guys I'm sure will be wanting to get up into this team, so it's probably a great game for them to prove themselves to the coach, and yeah, I'm not surprised that they put on a good performance.
Greenville FC have had possession for a little while now. They're trying to get quite a bit more possession going into the 25th minute, but a good stop there by a double team of Rodrigo Gonçalves and Bernat on the stop there, and then Sahaj Delaney wins a throw-in for George Revolution FC on the far side of the pitch.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a long throw from Saki here. Seems to be going over to take nearly any free kick even.
Oh, nice.
We remind you guys once again that you can tweet us at Revs Live or using the Revs Live hashtag. If you have any questions for us or comments, concerns, you can tweet us at Revs Live or once again using the hashtag.
Ooh.
Another opportunity for the Revolution. And Paul Tyson here has a goal kick for Greenville FC. Neither side has been able to break through after 25 minutes of action. And at first, looks like Georgia Revolution had all the momentum, but slowly but surely, Greenville FC have been able to string a few solid possessions back and forth. And due to the rain, we had to move the camera indoors from outside, so you cannot see the near side corners. We'll have to give descriptive play-by-play when the ball goes into the corner of the pitch. A pretty solid crowd on hand tonight for a very rainy, kind of muggy, not fun afternoon. It kind of reminds you of England Premier League weather.
Yeah. We got somebody who might be able to tell you just about that over here.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I know a lot of the boys, a couple of English lads on the team will be happy with these conditions, although it is a lot hotter than what it is back home. If you can imagine these kind of conditions with about 10 times as bad wind and about 10 times colder, then that's England for you.
And there's a lot of guys on both sides of the field that have grew up in England or experienced playing there, so I'm sure they feel right at home right now. It's like home cooking. And Interception by Greenville FC as they look to break through here. Javier Gonzalez played it back to Moyes. Moyes sending it in the midfield to Tyler Bolton. Tyler Bolton plays it back to Moyes and then to Tyson.
Game seems to have settled down a little bit the last 10 minutes. I feel like the first goal in this game is going to be huge.
And it looked like Lars Carlo tried to send a header to Adrian Nunez down the left flank, but just too much power on that, and the Revs scooped that up. Nathaniel Johnson now has the ball. Nathaniel looking for Jack Gurr. Jack Gurr on the right side plays a long ball up, looking for Dion McCulley. Dion McCulley trips and falls. It can't quite get there. Possibly a foul? I don't know. Is that just physical play?
Not for me.
Yeah, it's not a foul for me either. I think they were just going for the ball and they kind of tangled up there. Ooh.
Sahaj a little too aggressive there, but I like those opportunities trying to take advantage of a melandering by Greenville FC as they're attacking now on the left side. That's Nunez. Tricky dribbles in the box. Nunez shot.
Run.
Saved by Georgia Revolution FC, but he's the guy that transferred to Clemson, and he can play the ball at his feet. He's very good at dribbling, and can that translate, Sharpie, to the NPSL style of smaller pitches and very physical play? Can that game translate?
It's one thing I've noticed in this game so far. He's definitely the major threat for Greenville, and the Revs are going to have to definitely keep an eye on him throughout the game because he looks like the man who's making most things happen for them. Although the pitch isn't as small as Nashville, so that's one positive from here.
Yeah, we all know about that Nashville pitch. Only about, what is it, I think 100 yards long and maybe 55 yards wide, maybe.
Yeah. I think I've played on 5-a-side pitches bigger than that, to be honest.
Rodrigo splits the defender, then Tiense back out to Sagi Hirsch, but a very good defensive play from Manuel Perez there to stop it. He's been a force on defense. Smaller guy in stature. We're expecting him to come out his second season with Greenville FC. We're expecting him to come out and link play a little more, but he's been solid on the defensive side. You can see right now he's dropping back at the right back position and creating the fourth defender. So it's kind of a makeshift back four.
Ooh,
and then a long ball for Sajad. Sajad looking to cross in the box, cuts it back once again. Trying to dance there, cuts to touchline, plays it in the box, looking for Sagi Hirsch. Sagi Hirsch can't quite track that down.
Yeah, it's my first time seeing Zahad, and I've been very impressed so far. He's a very sharp player, and the Greenville line so far is pretty high, and I think they might have to adjust that at half-time because they're getting caught out a lot over the top.
And Sajad is one of those guys that have played at the NPSL, but Greenville with some good ball work there, good passing, still have the ball as Sandy has possession, plays it back up to Nunez. Nunez dribbling down the left side, and he's been a problem. Jack Gurr finally fends him off. Throw in for Georgia Revolution FC after Jack Gurr with a good effort there to win the ball back from Nunez.
Yeah, Sajad, actually, for those who don't know, Sajad did play with our NPSL squad 2 years ago on the team that was not very good. No wins and only 3 draws on the season. It was a terrible season, but
we beat the Clovers, though.
Yeah, we beat the Savannah Clovers. But he went over to Europe for a year. And came back and decided to come play with us. Was a key member, like I said, on our ADSL championship team. So it's good to see him out there performing on the big stage too.
Sagi Hirsch with a great run, tries to get the ball to Aaron Witten, but ball goes out of bounds and Greenville throw-in. But Sajad also has a younger brother playing with the ADSL reserve size. And can you talk about him for a moment, Justin?
Yeah, I mean, they're basically the same player. His brother, Raj, is a little taller than he is. But as far as ball control and speed, I mean, they're identical. His brother actually played in the USL League 2 before he came to our ADSL squad. So it's good to have the two brothers. And hopefully his brother can step it up. He was a little out of shape. He had an injury, so he wasn't able to make today's roster or the NPSL roster. But let's hope maybe he can crack his way into it because those two boys, man, they have great chemistry. One of the big things, positives from the ADSL team was those two guys being able to link up.
And guys, looking at our new back line, what have you seen from the additions Nathaniel Johnson on the back line and Thomas Hurwig?
Well, I think it's their first time really playing together, and it almost looks like they've played together for a while. They're very good communicators. They're moving constantly. They're all, and it seems like all the back line is helping each other. When somebody seems out of place, the other one's helping, and that's what you really want to see on a back line, especially one this is really their first full game together.
Ooh, and a big chance there for Ettore as he slide tackles into Nathaniel Johnson, but ball is played all the way back to our goalkeeper.
Yeah, Nate's been a couple of giveaways cheap there for him, so I'm sure he'll be a bit more focused as the game continues. I think most opportunities Greenville have had.
Jack Gurr's making a run down the right side. Oh, can he get there? Yes, he can. Oh,
just out.
Just out.
Not far away. But yeah, I think most opportunities that Greenville have had today have been from poor giveaways. They're struggling to create a lot when the Revs have time to recover. So as long as the Revs focus and make sure they don't give away ball cheaply at the back, I think we'll be fine. But something we need to make sure we fix.
And we saw the speed of Jack Gurr right there as he's running down the right side. He's not just a force as a defender, but he can also bring a lot in the attack. And we saw that right there. And a big header from Tony Tiente as he has the major ups there. And then now Manuel Perez has the ball at his feet. Plays it back to Sinclair Sandy. Sinclair Sandy tries to make a move around Tiente. Tiente with a dangerous tackle there.
I think we'll see the centre-backs going in here. It's another good opportunity for Greenville. And I'm sure they'll put the ball right in the box here.
Tiente kind of reminds me of a guy like LGP where he's very physical. And he wants to win the ball back at all times, and sometimes it can be a little too physical, and he can put himself in a position to possibly get carded frequently.
Yeah, well, we actually have another player on our squad, Eduardo Gomez. He comes from France. He's a center back. Like I said, he's one of the guys that, just came into town, so he isn't really on the roster tonight. But he's the same way, very physical. He's very, very smart. Being physical, though, I will say, when he leaves his feet for a tackle, it's always usually a smart one. So, very similar stature to Tony Tiente for sure.
And it looks like Jack Shields was called for a foul going over the top of Aaron Witten on a header inside the box, and that's a free kick for your Georgia Revolution.
Yeah, both keepers relatively quiet so far in this game. I think a couple of easy saves for each of them to get the confidence up, but haven't really been tested so far in the game.
McCauley trying to win the ball back, but Jack Shields plays it up, looking for, and now Nunez has an opportunity. This is dangerous for Greenville. Greenville in the attack. He's looking for Balistrasi, but Nunez makes a move. Balistrasi can't get there, and a great clearance by Soggy Hirsch.
What a recovery.
Yeah, he's a dangerous player, the left winger here.
You just can't give him that much space. Jacker was caught up in the attack, and he had the entire far side open.
Yeah, I think that's what happens when you have a player like Jacker who's just as good on the attack as in defense. Sometimes, you're going to lose a ball in midfield and while he's going up, just like in that situation. So you got to make sure we have communication on the back line so that when that does happen, they can get back and recover.
And I think if if we can find someone to play right back, he could potentially play midfield also.
Yeah, I think the ideal situation for Jack Gurr this year is to be able to play everywhere pretty much. I think Steo has that in his plans. I think he's playing right back tonight because we don't have all our full complement of players in. I think as the season goes on, you'll see him move up into the midfield and possibly as a winger also.
Yeah, his last couple of years at GDC when I was there, he played right wing predominantly for the season and got over like double digits on goals and even more assists, so he's definitely comfortable playing on the wing. But I know as he moves and aims to go at the pro level, right back to the spot where he thinks he has the best chance of doing that, so something he's looking to do.
And Gamar with a very physical play that was at risk, but a shot by Nunez. Goal, Greenville FC, 36th minute.
What a strike.
There was a shot by Nunez that was deflected by the Revolution back line, and then a ball fell to Lars Kalla, and he puts it back into the... Excuse me, that was Jamie North on the strike, but Jamie North puts the ball in the back of the net. Nothing you can really do about that from a goalkeeper's perspective.
There's no chance with Mattia for that one. I mean, I think he'll be disappointed in how long it took them to get out of that shot. It seemed like he had forever to take that shot on the rebound, but yeah, Mattia absolutely no chance with that strike.
And 10 minutes ago, I would have said that would have gone against the grain of play, but now Greenville had the momentum in the attack, and they put the ball in the back of the net. They have all the momentum right now.
Yeah, I think an important note from last season as well was that the Revs were able to come from behind. We did it at Asheville and Nashville early on in the season, and that's going to be a test of these lads' character, so it's going to be interesting to see how these boys react to that goal and see if they can deal with it. So it's going to be the main aim for Steele's team here.
Another ball over the top, looking for Dion McCauley, who has been dangerous against Greenville FC. I know he was one of the players they were keying in on and their preparation for this match, but just too much juice, which has been the story for all of our balls over the top so far.
Yeah, I mean, it's actually a good thing to want to key in on Dion McCauley, you know, the all-time leading scorer for the nation of Belize. We got another dangerous chance here.
Nunez overlaps the right side. He had an opportunity, and then Soggy Hirsch physically played the ball, or shielded the ball. But goal kick for Georgia Revolution. They're trying to play it quickly. It looks like Lars Kalla was trying to be a little tricky there and quickly get a cheeky goal, but our goalkeeper noticed that right away, and he sends the ball up the field. Strong header there by Gonzalez for Greenville.
And one of the things that I'm really interested in seeing as this game goes on is, like we said in the pregame, I think Greenville's only brought 15 players. And like we said earlier in the game, you know, our bench is just as good or maybe even a little better than the guys we've got out. So I'm interested to see, once depth comes into play, what happens with what happens on the pitch.
Great point, Justin. I think the way this game is going at the minute, I think it would be sooner rather than later that we might see some changes. Some of these more attacking players on the bench for Revs might be coming on sooner than we think.
Now,
another goal. Looks like it was a deflection.
Yeah, and I think it maybe even sooner than we just said there.
And the Revs bench looks deflated at the moment after Greenville FC goes up 2-0 in the 39th minute after a goal by none other than Adrian Nunez. I think we have to admit that Nunez definitely deserves a goal. He's been the best player on the pitch so far in 39 minutes, and he finally gets one.
I'd have to agree with you, Riley, there. He's looked very dangerous, but it was far too easy for Greenville there.
Yeah, it seems like, especially in the last 5 minutes or so, that communication that was so great in the first 30 minutes or so is kind of broken down. It seems like Greenville's getting a lot of spaces on the wings. We really got to work to get that closed up quickly.
I think the positive thing is, lads, though, we've been in a similar situation about a year ago at Nashville. So 2-0 down around this time, I think, was a goal right before half time again, and then we obviously turn around and win 3-2. So hopefully we see that again tonight.
And there we go. It's the token yellow card for Mr. Rodrigo Gonzalez.
He goes on a strong
team with yellow cards last year. Gets the first yellow card of 2019.
He does, and he goes on strong on a tackle on Jamie North, who is making a good run up the field for Greenville, and he's still down.
I think if they had odds on who was going to be the first caller tonight, I think Rodrigo would definitely be the top of everyone's list.
Yeah, he was the only one last year that got suspended for yellow card accumulation, so it's not surprising to see that he gets one here. Same thing in the ADSL. He was good for a yellow card about every game.
Yeah, and I don't think Rodrigo has to worry about accumulation this year, as there's only six teams in the league. We're only playing 10 games this year, guys. It's not a large conference.
I still wouldn't put it past him to somehow get it.
Me neither. Another opportunity for Greenville on a set piece. As I said, a major threat on these set pieces with the size they are from the back. And the Revs need to be very careful here.
Corner kick for Greenville. Looks like Jamie North is coming in and take the corner. A little bit of time wasting for Greenville as they want to go in halftime with a 2-0 lead, but he slips and falls, and that was probably the ugliest corner kick I've ever seen in my life.
That's easily the worst corner I've ever seen in 23 years of my life.
Now, the one time you want the camera up there, we could have got a very gifable moment.
Yeah, very gifable. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. Only the guys here know what just happened.
But it'll forever live in my heart as a awful moment for sure for Jamie North. I'm sure he'll want to shake that one off.
Oh, good for him that we don't have video on it.
Because that could have potentially been a two-pole poster for next year when we
sure.
come. Great header there by the Revs.
Good ball movement.
Center back Thomas Herwig. Ball play for Sajad. Sajad trying to get there. Crosses it in.
Oh.
Dion! Dion can't put it away as a great opportunity is created by Sajad. All he had to do was get that first touch. I mean, the keeper was beat. No defenders there.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem with a three-man back line. Great speed by Sajad. I didn't think he could get there.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
the
I said,
speed. Speed kills, man.
Yeah.
It's that Brian McCann speed.
And if we can get one back before halftime, that would be enormous for the guys coming through.
Yeah, it took the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say a goal before half time for the Revs would be absolutely huge, especially for the Greenville lads going into the locker room knowing that they're going to throw the kitchen sink at them in the second half. So if the Revs could get one here, it would be huge.
And I don't think there's going to be too much stoppage time, maybe 2 minutes.
Maybe.
We had 2 iffy tackles that slowed play down, but besides that, there's been nothing major. So maybe a minute, maybe 2. We know referees in NPSL can be fun, as no other word I have.
All I have to say is that New Orleans playoff game. That's all I'll say.
That was bad.
10 minutes of stoppage time with 1 injury in the second half.
The playoff game also, but when New Orleans took the trip here, I heard more boos than anything else. I could hear him up here in the booth for 90 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk about the refereeing performance in that game.
Now, ball in the corner, and another player slips and falls. Definitely the pitch is, it's not in bad condition, but it's not as good as you'll see later in the year. The Henry County High School is having their last ever year at this facility. They're moving to McDonough High School later down the road in a world-class facility, but the lacrosse team made it all the way deep into the playoffs, so they had a playoff game here last week, and the field, because that is not in pristine condition, and this is the only facility in Henry County. We have 9 high schools here, and all of them have been redone with turf, $2 million turf facilities, except for this field because Henry County is leaving for McDonough High School. Now Sajad, another opportunity on the right side, cuts in, takes a shot.
Ooh.
Paul Tyson with the save, but it looks like it was off target nonetheless.
Well, at least the guys are still getting chances. It's not like they've coiled up and just kind of give in till halftime. They're really going for it here.
Yeah, Sajad's had a very good half, to be fair to him. He couldn't have done much more himself.
Oh, and Dion McCulley there, dangerous. Paul Tyson punts it into the air, but a great play by Dion McCulley to get in Paul Tyson's face.
That's experience right there. That's an international player who's played many international competitions like the Gold Cup and CONCACAF Nations League. You know, that experience shows right there.
And I think Georgia Revolution fans have to say it's been a breath of fresh air to not see any offside flags been up in this first half. After last year, we all know our good friend Isaac Promise was he kind of lived there. He built his home offside.
Yeah, he did.
I think we'd love to have him back here now, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. But when you're looking at the attack, we talked about possible substitutes. We could see Pascal come into the game. We could see our friend from Louisville City. Make an appearance, but who comes off? I think Sajad stays on. His speed has been phenomenal.
Yeah, I think the way he's playing right now, there's absolutely no chance that he'll be getting subbed. Maybe a change in style we might see from the Revs too. Maybe to go 2 up front. I'm not sure what Steele has in plan, but I'm sure he's got a plan going into the second half, and I'd be really shocked if we didn't see any changes at half time.
Yeah, for me, I would probably take Dion off. Not
I agree.
Because, you know, he's playing poorly, but he is up there in age. He is up, 33, 34 years old now, so... But I think I would love to see a player like Kenny Dublé come up there and take Dion's spot. And with the speed of Aaron and Sajad and the technical holding play with Kenny Dublé, I'd love to see that in the second half.
I think Aaron Witten had a very good first 15 minutes. Then Manuel Perez came into his own in the midfield and really kind of shut him down for the rest of the game. Not necessarily shut down Aaron Witten, but shut down Sagi Hirsch, who was trying to direct play from the left back position. So I think Aaron Witten stays. I agree Dion McCulley probably comes off. He's had a quiet game.
I could see Aaron maybe moving into the middle more.
And
maybe
kind
an
of
out-and-out winger coming on, maybe to Jamar, somebody like that, to give us more pace going there. Because obviously, as we said, Aaron isn't really an out-and-out left winger. He's more of a central player, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that adjustment as well.
And a prayer of a shot for Greenville FC that goes over the crossbar and a goal kick, and they just kind of gifted us possession right back. But physical play by Tiente trying to win the ball back from Jamie North. Now Tony Tiente has the ball, chips up, but right into the chest of Jack Shields. Now Ettore Balstrassi gets the ball stripped away by Rodrigo Gonçalves. Rodrigo plays it for Sajad. Sajad near the top of the box on the far side. Sajad tries to cut in, but a very good defensive play to break up.
Halftime.
And the final whistle has blown in the first half. Greenville FC 2, George Revolution FC 0. We'll be back with the second half coverage shortly. Second half kickoff has started, and there's 2 changes for this Revolution lineup. We have Kenny Dublé coming in. We also have Jamal Oakley coming in. And coming off the field, Sahaj Delaney, who had a great first half for the Revolution. A speedster for a speedster there, and Oakley for Shahad. And then Dion McCulley, the Belize men's national team player, comes off the field after a very quiet first half. And Aaron Winton has the ball on the near side, plays in Jamar. Jamar turns, shots deflected. But a second chance there for Tiente. And looks like Brana is hit in the face by Jamie North there.
Very positive start of the half for the Revs. I think Steele's definitely got into them in the dressing room here because they came out firing on all cylinders.
And keep an eye on number 9. That's Kenny Dublé. He is a 6'2 striker. He had appearances for Derby City. He played for Louisville. He was a standout after their tryouts. Very solid player, very quick. He can do a lot of things for them. It's going to be fun to watch him this year.
He's going to be a big threat as well for the Revs on set pieces, which is something I think we missed in the first half.
Definitely.
He's a big lad.
He played at Rio Grande Valley collegiately, then transferred over to Southern New Hampshire University, where he scored 15 goals in his last season, leading them to a Division III national championship. Then he played at Seacoast United in NPSL while playing collegiately, and then he went to Derby City Rovers, where he scored 2 goals last year.
Yeah, if you ever see his highlight tape from Rio Grande Valley, it's amazing. I mean, he's kind of like a holding striker, but at the same time, he also has the speed and the awareness to break in and really punish somebody.
Another guy with a pretty impressive highlight tape is Nunez on Greenville when he played at University of North Florida with Chattanooga FC head coach Bill Elliott. And speaking of CFC, they're actually tied at halftime with Twitter darling Bug Eaters FC 0-0 at Fort Finley. Chattanooga FC released some kits last night, guys, and their home kit is the Chattanooga FC Norm, kind of boring, and then their away kit's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, sky blue.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong with sky blue.
It's probably
Be interested to see them when they come here later in the year.
It's probably their best kit and their 10-year hit. And a
Oh,
good chip there by Brenna. Dublé with a chance. Dublé trying to play it back to Aaron Winton. And it's deflected by Greenville. Corner kick. Beautiful play by the Revs there.
Revs have created more in the opening couple of minutes of this half than did probably the whole first half together. So whatever Steele's done at half time is working.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about last half, about how our bench is just as good or better. So now we're really about to test the depth of this Greenville side.
And a corner kick from the same spot that Jamie North slipped and fell. And we actually do have tape of that. If you look on the Revs Twitter page, it looks oddly similar to the Charlie Brown episode where the football was pulled away from Charlie Brown. Oddly similar to that, but you can check that out on the Georgia Revolution Twitter page.
Lucky we don't get a foul there.
Aaron and Jamar seem to be switching constantly here.
Jack Earl, long ball up to Aaron Winton. Aaron Winton heads the ball to Kenny Dublé. Dublé can't quite get there, and Greenville FC are back on the attack. Nunez has the ball at his feet. Nunez playing it to Ettore. Ettore turns, chips it over the top for a corner kick.
Yeah, it's Rodrigo there. He's always good for a caution, but he's also really good there in defense.
I think it's important to know here, lads, that although the Revs are going for it and we obviously need some goals, I think if we go for it too much and we give away that third goal early on, it's probably game over. So we do need to be careful defensively here.
Adrian Nunez taking the corner kick, and the reason he is playing this match is because he transferred from University of North Florida to Clemson, a D1 school. That is why he's eligible to play in this NPSL match. Excuse me.
Got to do better at the corner there.
Greenville's set pieces have been kind of sketchy so far in this match, for sure. Dublé wasn't paying attention as the ball was played over the top for him. He finally recognized it, but Paul Tyson has it in his grasp. Javier Gonzalez plays the ball up to Nunez. Nunez back out to Manuel Perez. Manuel Perez trying to deal with the ball there, but a deflection and a throw-in coming up for Greenville. I think Manuel Perez is probably the second most efficient Greenville player so far in this match. And a good give and go there for Greenville, but Ooh, that was close as goalkeeper was Meg there, but a fantastic give and go and solid looking possession for Greenville.
Yeah, Thomas has just got to go ahead and kick that out, even if it's for a corner. You got to get that out because these Greenville guys are going to punish you.
Yeah, the front three is looking very dangerous for Greenville, and the Revs really, really need to be careful here of conceding a third goal.
And giving credit to Greenville, their three-man back line has looked so far so good. I mean, no major problems there.
Yeah, they've been a bit leaky here and there, but those leaks haven't really caused any serious damage so far.
Miguel Perez tripped up by Jack Gurr, still has the ball at his feet, playing it back out to Nunez. Nunez trying to look to cross the ball as he has two guys wide open, including Jamie North on the far side of the box. Nunez fighting for the ball, is tripped up and fouled, but
dangerous position here for Greenville again.
Free kick for Greenville just outside the box.
Yeah, as you said, I mean, Paul Tyson's had a pretty quiet night in goal. A couple of great balls from Jack in the first half, though, which obviously is well for Saheed. For Dion's chance, huge chance in the game, but yeah, quiet night for Paul Tyson so far.
Jamie North taking the free kick. A one-man wall of Aaron Witten. And an interesting strategy as Kenny Dublé was in on defense on that set piece because he's a 6'2" big body there. And Jamar Oakley, another big body, but is also very quick, was playing up top in relief. Now Jamar Oakley right there has the ball in possession, takes a few touches. Jamar Oakley dribbling in the middle of the field now. Jamar Oakley a man on. Sends it up to Aaron Witten. Good ball by Oakley, but too far. Aaron Witten can't quite track that down.
That was a great idea, though.
It was a good-looking possession as Jamar Oakley has taken a year off of collegiate ball after his freshman year at Georgia Gwinnett College. But some solid footwork there by Oakley to juggle the ball around.
Yeah, that's one thing Jamal will give you is something unpredictable, and he's doing that at the minute.
I'm not surprised that Jamar came in this early in the match, as he's a guy that changes pace later on in games after everyone's tired. And he's not in the best of shape right now after taking a year off collegiate soccer and here and there playing for the ADSL reserve side. So it's interesting to see the move by Steo putting Jamar in this early. He's only a 19-year-old too.
Yeah, I mean, he's rolled the dice on that one, and so far we've created a few chances, so hopefully it pays off for him. But he's definitely going for it this half, and he's looking to win this game.
And some lightning in the far distance. Hopefully it won't affect the match. But Cience playing the ball, looking for Jack Gurr. Jack Gurr has space. Jack Gurr sends it in. Header away. Jack Gurr gets it once again, playing it to Oakley. Oakley trying to create something in the box. Oakley turns, crosses it, corner kick, Georgia Revolution FC.
Yeah, Jamal's looking very dangerous here.
That was a good opportunity by the Revs. Jack Gurr had a lot of guys with space in the box, and just a fantastic play by Jack Shields to head that ball away for Greenville. Jack Gurr sends it in. Header over the top. Looks like Tiente with the chance there.
Yeah, he jumped just a little too late on that one. A second sooner, and that might have gone in. And I think that was actually Jamar that got on the end of that. Yeah, it was.
But Tiente and Jamar can both jump out of the gym. They are very athletic. Great touch. And a great touch by Nunez, and then a poor ball that's headed away by Thomas.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's getting a little naughty this game now.
The rain is coming down now.
Greenville FC have Georgia Revolution chasing right now, but a good header by Jamar Oakley stops the attack.
Credit to the fans here as well. I mean, they've all stuck out here, and the rain's really coming down, but they're here in the numbers, so fair play to them, keeping the Revs going.
Good stop by Thomas Herwig. Now Rodrigo Gonçalves has the ball, plays it back to Jack Gurr. Jack Gurr, the only man on the field with his shirt tucked in, but still managing to play good soccer.
Like to do it, Riley.
Ooh.
Nunez, the big stop here. Nunez cuts in, but Jack Gurr with a good job of shielding Nunez away from the ball. And a good give and go from Rodrigo and Jack Gurr. That chemistry right there after playing for their second season. And Jack Gurr gets tackled on the field by Sinclair Sandy, and he gets frustrated and kicks the ball on the ground. But a free kick here for Georgia Revolution. Excuse me. Jack Gurr kicked the ball in the field, so now Greenville looked to have possession.
No, they gave it back to him.
They gave it back. Weird referee. Ball played over the top of Kenny Dublé. Dublé heads it back for Jamar.
Ooh.
Jamar can't get a touch on it, and Greenville FC are countering quickly now. Jacker gets it away from Jamie North. And interesting now, Greenville FC's striker in the first half, Lars Kahl, has been playing consistently in the midfield, and he's here at the throw-in right now. He's not up top.
Yeah, they seem to have been a shuffling about.
Rodrigo comes in physically on the deflection, and Tony Tiente with the big ups there to head that ball away from Greenville.
A lot of space for Jamal here now.
Now Jack Gurr has the ball on the near side. Jack Gurr has options. Jack Gurr cuts in the middle of the field. Jack Gurr still possession, looks for Aaron Witten, but the play is broken up there by Javier Gonzalez, and it's cleared away now to the Revs back line.
I think we're going to see the longer this game goes on, the Revs are behind, the higher up the field Jack's going to get, and he's really going to push on here and go for that goal.
We want to take a minute and thank Ingles for sponsoring this broadcast of Georgia Revolution FC Soccer. Make sure and you support Ingles. And I want to say the Revs have had a very good year from a sponsorship standpoint. They've had a lot of quality sponsors come forward, and we have a new title sponsor on our kit, Resurgence Orthopedics. It looks sharp.
Yeah, and one of the great things about it is almost every single one of the sponsors came to us this
Yeah.
year. It shows that we're really getting roots down in our community.
I think definitely we saw at the kickoff party at the new Southern Roots Tavern a fantastic atmosphere, and they loved the Zlatan-esque speech by our headman. And now Jamar Oakley has space. Can he get there? No, he cannot. But a brilliant idea by none other than the Jack Gurr. You need? Greenville FC, Jamie North, tricky dribbles out of possession, gets the ball out to Jake Shields. Jake Shields playing it to Harvey Moyes. Harvey Moyes kind of a quiet night in the back line for Greenville, and a tough ball. He plays back to Paul Tyson. Paul Tyson deals with it nicely. Tyson gets it back out to Jack Shields. Excuse me. A run here by Lars. Lars can't get there. Good defensive effort there by the Revs' Nathan Jones. Soggy Hirsch has the ball, plays it back in the middle to Braun. Sends the ball. And Aaron Witten has been subbed out for Pascal. Pascal comes in, and he's one of our more electric options in the attack, and it's going to be fun to see him play.
Yeah, Pascal is a winger from Bethel University up in Tennessee. Really electric, really fast down the lines.
Jamar Oakley has the ball, but an interception there by Greenville FC. Okay. A great defensive header from Thomas there on the Revolution back line. And I think overall the Revs have looked solid on the back line. It's just when Greenville's countering quickly and we're up in the attack, it's the same thing that happened last year. We get caught out on the quick counters.
Yeah, honestly, those two goals that happened in the first half, there was only a 10-minute stretch in the game where the back line kind of fell asleep. And other than that, they've been pretty solid. But, of course, falling asleep for those 10 minutes, we got punished twice.
Nunez dribbles around the Revs midfield and gets the ball out to the far side. Offside flag is up.
Well, for once, it wasn't against us.
And the Revs play it quickly now. Ball played to Rodrigo. Rodrigo first touch to Jack Err. Jack Err sells the ball, plays it back to Nathaniel Jones. Nathaniel Jones to our left back, Soggy Hirsch. Soggy Hirsch was thinking long ball, but pulls the ball back to our center back, Thomas Howig. And Howig sends up the field looking for Jack Err. Jack Err making a nice run. And ball's played out of bounds for a throw-in. Oakley turns. Oakley looks in the middle of the field. Risky ball to Brandon. Brandon shoots. Goal! Georgia Revolution FC in the 64th minute. Pull a goal back. Former Myrtle Beach Mutiny player Brandon Gamara scores for the Revs, and it is 2-1. Jamar Oakley just turned around there. Feinberg on Gamara. Gamara slots it in the bottom right corner. We have a game here, folks.
Yeah, that's exactly what we needed. I was kind of getting worried there for a minute that we were going to get too late in the half, but that's perfect time to score the goal.
Yeah, it went pretty flat the last 5 minutes, and that was a huge moment. Like I said in the first half, Brahan can make something happen out of nothing, and that's exactly what he did there, literally.
And now right from kickoff, the Revs are pressing quickly, looking for another goal.
Yeah, the first 5 minutes after a goal are always the most dangerous, especially
now
when the team's
Nunez
chasing.
trips and falls, kind of gives the Revs a break there, so he had an opportunity, but Jack Gurr has the ball.
Wow.
Brian Kamara looks to steal the ball away again, once again, and stops the Greenville attack. He's looked mighty fine tonight.
He has. I mean, there's a reason why the Myrtle Beach Mutiny general manager said he was their best player, and I think we're seeing it on the field tonight.
Yeah, for sure. A long ball kind of in the middle of nowhere, and we haven't seen anything from Kenny Dublé yet.
Not yet. I don't think he's getting the service that he quite needs. We haven't really been able to get the ball out of our own
he's in offside position right now, too, so hopefully we don't give him service. Pasquale can't get on the end of Jack Gurr's pass, but ball is played out by Paul the Wall Tyson. And Jack Gurr throws it into Pasquale. Pasquale with a tricky dribble as he passed it through the Greenville defenders. Throw in for Rodrigo. Rodrigo playing to Gamara. Gamara cross. Beautiful ball in.
Yeah.
Jamar Oakley header. Oh, good chance for the Revs there to equalize. Jamar Oakley on the end of a Gamara header.
Fantastic ball again there. And Jamal will be disappointed not to put that in the back of the net.
Paul Tyson punts the ball up the field. One thing that's impressive about this Revolution back line is not necessarily the interceptions or the tackles, but the smart positioning and the awareness to shield the ball away from the Greenville attackers who are smaller and less physical.
Yeah, I mean, like we were saying earlier, besides those 10 minutes we fell asleep, I think they've looked great, fantastic.
A quick steal by Greenville as they're countering. This is when the Revs are vulnerable, and a good steal there by Thomas Herwig. Beautiful soccer right there on the defense. Gamara now looking for Pascal, but he can't quite get there as the defender gets in the passing lane.
Great patience there by Brahan.
And now an opportunity for the Revs. Dribbling into the box. Good defensive effort by Javier Gonzalez to stop the Revolution attack, but Bron Gamara outside of the box. Bron Gamara has a man on and a throw in for the Revolution.
Great run from Kenny there. I mean, we're talking about him not being involved much, but he was very lucky not to take on 4 or 5 players and get a shot off there, so we saw a little bit of what he's got right there.
Soggy Hirsch coming in for a throw-in, and the Revs need a goal here. We need an equalizer. The momentum is on our side. This is the time to attack for the Revolution.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a long throw-in.
I think any throw now is going to go in there.
Throw-in into the box. Jamar almost gets anything on it.
Yeah, set pieces are going to be very important in the second half with the size of Kenny Dublé in the middle.
Yeah, any throw-in I think the Revs get anywhere near the box is going to be going in there. Saki's got that great throw on him.
Tiente dropped back to a defensive midfield position as we've seen in the second half. but a little bit of maturity from Tiense to drop back and play a different role to help his team out instead of leaving them vulnerable.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Tiente had a great season with GGC this year. I mean, he took a leadership role. He played very well, and I think between playing for the Revolution in the summer and his last season with GGC, he's matured in many levels.
And a pressure there from Lars trying to get the attack, but the Revs are too quick on the pass, and Tiense plays that to Dublé.
Really good.
Excuse me, that's
from the Revs
Jamar.
at the back there. Really good.
Yeah, Lars Kalla has been consistently trying to get those cheeky little steals throughout the game, but the Revs have noticed that. A good steal by the Jamar Oakley as he's on the ground. Good effort there from Jamar.
Yeah, great effort by Jamar there to try to get that ball back and get possession for the Revs again.
Yeah, the momentum's definitely swinging in the Revs' favour since that goal.
Do we see any more changes from the Revolution?
Ladies and gentlemen, we still have one basket to give away. So we picked another number. Get out your raffle tickets. If you have 890.
A giveaway for the Revolution. That's Ettore Alstrassi there for Greenville, but the Revs get it right back.
890. Please head to the fan shop.
I mean, honestly, I'd like to see Cameron come in from GGC. I think that would be a really good pace of a change of the pace of play on the field.
Yeah, I was just about to say, Justin, I feel like that's definitely the last change we'll see for the Revs, only having that one sub left. I think later in the game, Cameron will definitely be the player to come into this game. The way this game is, like a fast-paced, physical game, it would really suit him, and I'd be shocked not to see him take the field soon.
And it's going to be interesting to see if one of Ryan King's former teammates comes to the game, Tom Mitchinson.
Oh, what a shot. That was optimistic there by Brahan. I think he's kind of feeling himself.
Yeah. But Tom Mitchinson played at Clayton State with Ryan King. Ryan King tore it up there in his last season, scoring 12 goals.
Yeah, Kingy last year scored quite a few very crucial goals for us during the season.
And that's another player we haven't even mentioned today, because he's back in England at the minute, getting his legal stuff sorted out, and he'll be back soon. So that's another player you got to add to this squad, which is going to make the competition even more and be another great option for the Revs. There's Ryan King.
A strong header there, and the rain is coming down consistently harder and harder now, making the conditions even more difficult to play in. But a foul on Gamara there.
Yeah, the wind and the rain is really starting to pick up. But like we said with the substitution we like to see with Cameron, I mean, that's another speedster on the pitch. And with this pitch being wet, that's really in the favor of the Revs. Especially with Greenville trying to get on their back foot and kind of hold on right now. That's really good for us.
Lars Kalla kind of maliciously attempted the trip Jack Gurr, but Jack Gurr seemed to avoid it as a cheap play there by the Greenville striker.
Might get a card here. Yep. Looks like Jack is getting the card for embellishment.
This is the point of the match, 71st minute. Greenville only has 15 men, a three-man back line. They have no other options on defense. They're a little bit tired.
Yeah, I mean like we said in the pregame show, I mean, they only have 15 people, but they only brought 3 defenders.
Yeah.
So those 3 defenders are going to have to keep up for about the next, 20 minutes or so of just
a ball slips through the defense, but and goes into the strong arms of George Revolution FC's keeper.
Sub we may also see is Janma, the Italian centre-back from GGC, because he's a very tall lad as well, so maybe that's someone Steele might hoy on simply for set pieces later in the game to give us a big threat. I mean, he's like 6'4", so that could be definitely an option we may see as well.
Oh, great footwork by Brahan.
Fantastic. Ole, ole, ole from Gamara. And that's an area that we miss Isaac Promise on. He was very good in set pieces, but the Revs have not really been a set piece team in their history. So
no, it's most of our goals have come from direct play and the
beautiful ball by Jack Gurr. That's headed away by Javier Gonzalez, but looking for Jamar Oakley, who has impressed me tonight. He's looked very good. He's looked sharp. I doubted Steve for bringing him in this early, but there's a reason they're paying him the big bucks, not me.
I mean, Jamar is usually a guy who's good for coming off the bench and making 2 or 3 fantastic fast runs down the line. I mean, as you saw it, the game winner in New
Jack
Orleans.
looking for Pascal. Pascal was offside, and he couldn't get there anyway.
That was close.
Good idea, though, from Jack.
But like I said, our game-winning goal in New Orleans was because he came off the bench and just tore down the line and scored against New Orleans. So, I mean, to see him change and grow to a fact where he can come in for longer periods of time, that's just a testament to, how we run our system and how he's doing good.
And I feel like today as well, Jamar's really been a big part of changing this game and the momentum for the Revs too. And I'm sure he'll be pushing to try and get a starting place in the team. That's something he's trying to do and prove that to the coach.
Nunez with some great footwork.
Yeah, Mattia coming off his line. Perfect.
Yeah, we can see one of the players getting cramped for Greenville here, like we just talked about.
Yep. And that's not a good thing for Greenville, considering they don't have much backup.
Very sportsman of Jack here helping him out. It's always nice to see.
Yeah, Jack Gers, I mean, he's a fun, high-energy guy, but he's also a good sport. He deals with banter well, and he's also very nice to the opponents. I mean, except Astral, and they try to fight him after a game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he gets a bit of a bad reputation sometimes, but it's all fun and games, and as you saw there, he's a good sportsman, he's professional, and it's nice to see that on the field.
Yeah. He's one of the more lovable players that the Revs have. Kenny Dublé, great personality, good fan interaction. He's definitely up there.
Kenny's funny for sure.
And he always likes a good high five too.
Oh yeah.
Kenny likes his high fives. But this is a very enjoyable. This is a roster you want to cheer for. I mean, a lot of good guys on this team.
Yeah.
A lot of fun guys. Definitely a good core group here for Georgia Revolution.
I mean, that's what's so special about where the Revs are now. I mean, for many years, we didn't have, a solid roster. We'd always get everybody scraps, and it showed on the pitch. We didn't have good results. But since Dale's come in and we've recruited well the last few years, we're on the uptick for sure, and it's a really good thing to see.
Subbing into the game for Greenville, number 31, Tom Mitchelson. In for number 23, Atory Balistrati.
What was that?
Oh.
Opportunity for Pascal. Can he get there? But Paul Tyson comes out and Tandy with his footwork, but an opportunity for the speed of Revolution to be on display there.
Yeah, that's kind of a situation where the wet pitch kind of hurts us. If that pitch was a little drier, that ball might have held up just a little bit, and we could have gotten on it.
Good touch by Rodrigo to get the ball to Jack Gurr. Rodrigo's first touch has been very good today. And another good first touch. Pascal's an opportunity. Pascal cuts in. Shot!
Ooh.
Oh! Just over the crossbar. And a great opportunity for Pascal after he cuts in, uses his left foot to strike with.
Yeah, that was fantastic. What a little touch and go from Kenny Dublé there. That's what we like to see from him.
And another Greenville FC player is down. You have to be worried if you're a Greenville fan if their squad can hold up for the remainder of this match.
Yeah, it's something we talked about throughout this game, and it's really looking to show for Greenville. I mean, they've got 15 minutes to hold on here, and it's going to really be back against the wall, I feel, for this last 15.
Training staff is on the field, and in the first half, we had very little stoppage time, but going into half number 2, we're in the 76th minute. There has to be at least 5-6 minutes stoppage time. There's
possibly
a lot of injuries on this Greenville side, and then Jacker got that card. But the injured Greenville player looks to be Tyler Bolton, who's had a very quiet game in the midfield for Greenville FC. And Tyler Bolton is out of England as well. He played at Lindore University, where he had 38 appearances in his career. He's going into his senior year there. But a foul by Greenville. And it looks like Greenville have brought in a substitute. David Kaprowski has came into the game. Now,
oh, what a ball.
Greenville, Revolution, the ball just outside the box, but.
Oh, it must have gone out. Oh,
Goal kick.
yep. Must have just trickled out.
We invite you to visit the amazing Neighbor Barbecue concessions for some delicious treats this half. Also, don't forget to check out the Georgia Revolution Fan Shop for season ticket jerseys and all the greatest Georgia Revs fan gear.
David Kaprowski, the substitute that just came into the match, he's listed as a defender. He's one of their 3 defenders, and he's playing striker.
Yeah, it looks like Rodrigo hurt himself on that play there. He's got to be careful on this slick surface.
And then a tough challenge there by Greenville FC trying to test
Ooh, what a
Rodrigo.
tackle. You had to time that tackle perfect, and he did.
And then an opportunity there for David, but good defensive effort there by Thomas Herwig. Now Nathaniel Johnson slips, but still gets the ball away to Gamara. And a tackle on Gamara. Looks like Jamie North challenges him, and Jamie North gets a red card. I mean, a yellow card, excuse me.
That would be pretty nice, though.
I would not complain,
I
man.
wouldn't complain about that.
Nunez, little dribble handoff, some basketball action there.
Well, it's really coming down now. This is the fun time to play out there.
And now Pasquale has the ball in the middle of the field. Pasquale
What a
looking
ball.
for Jamal. Jamal has an opportunity. Jamal cuts in, shoots. Oh, just wide. Good opportunity by the Georgia Revolution in the attack, and a good counterattack play there by the Revs.
Looks like the Revs are going to bring in Cameron, it looks like.
Yeah. Pascal's made a really big impact the second half as well. Just like Jamal. I mean, every time he's had the ball, something's nearly happened for the Revs.
Cameron St. Prix Mitchell comes to the game. He played at Georgia Gwinnett College, as we mentioned earlier, and Midland University, where he scored 4 goals and 3 assists. And he's also another English guy, an English lad.
One of my close friends, actually, Cameron, he actually won the play of the tournament at our conference his junior year before moving to GGC, and he had a really bad injury that year and missed most of the season. So I know he's desperate to get out on the field, and I really hope that things go well from this season because he deserves it.
Jack Gerd just played the ball right into the chest of the Greenville defender there, Jack Shields. And some passionate.
Well,
that's all I can ask for.
It's definitely good to see.
Yeah, you can see the Greenville just slowly dropping deeper as the clock goes on here, and the Revs are going to really have to go for it this last 10 minutes.
80th minute, we have a foul now. Georgia Revolution FC take the free kick quickly, looking to get that equalizer. Long ball played to Pascal. Pascal, header there. Plays broken up by Moyes. Throw in, it looks like, from this angle. What?
Oh, no, they went short.
Throw
Nice
into
touch.
Pascal. Pascal gets the ball stripped away, and Greenville are attacking now.
Oh.
Good defensive effort, Nathaniel Johnson.
What a play.
What a tackle.
Strong tackle.
Massive tackle.
And it is pouring cats and dogs here in McDonough, Georgia.
Yeah, Mattia dealt with that really well.
Now, what have you seen out of him today? You know, you're the goalkeeper here on the broadcast.
Yeah, I mean, I know Mattia really well. I coached him for a year at GDC. I actually picked him up from the airport when he first arrived here. Great kid, and he'll do a fine job this season for the Revs. Hasn't had a lot to do actually today. I mean,
yeah.
Outside of the goals, Greenville haven't really had any chances, but they've been clinical,
Yeah.
to be fair to them, and that's what it's all about. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he does this season for the Revs.
I think this has been a fun matchup, some good soccer. But I think the interesting thing is going to be, what's the away leg for the Revs going to look like? Because there's going to be a lot of players that are going to be on the field that were not in key positions. And we see guys like Pasquale and Kenny Dublé that came in, and they made a big difference. Shamar Oakley as well. So if you get them for 9, great footwork by Pasquale, but gets tackled at the end of it. Wonderful move there.
Kenny looks like he's hurt now. He took a big knock there.
I mean, Dublé, excuse me, that was not Pasquale, but Dublé is still down.
Yeah, that's not good to see.
Yeah, we need to get a trainer on here quick.
Referee has to break that up there as Brandon Gamara.
That's nothing over there.
Yeah, got a shoving match with Tyler Bolton, who was injured earlier on in the match for Greenville. Dublé still on the ground. Jamie North coming over there and being a good sport.
Yeah, the rain just seems to be increasing. Yeah.
That helps. Resurgence Orthopedics is definitely getting their fair share of workload tonight.
Oh, yeah. New title sponsors are definitely going to be useful this year.
A lot of injury time here as well, which is important to note. There's been a lot of stoppage in the second half, so there's probably at least 10, 11, 12 minutes left in this game.
And an update for our Greenville fans. North Texas Soccer Club get a 1-0 win over Greenville Triumph. Ball played over the top. Off the back, question mark of Nathaniel
If
Johnson.
he meant that, then fair play.
That was
Oh,
great touch there by Tony Tiente.
Showing a little flair tonight. Boys are really feeling it now.
Interesting form there by Nathaniel, nonetheless, though, on the playback to the keeper. Paul Johnson comes out and scoops the ball up, but that was kind of a scary moment for the Greenville team right there.
Yeah, I feel like at half-time, if you asked Steele if he'd be happy with a point, he'd definitely say yes. So if the Revs could get another goal here, although I know he would have wanted to win the game, he'd definitely take a point after going 2 goals down. So if the Revs could get one here, it would be a good result in the end.
And it looks like Nashville in the 43rd minute are up 2-1 over Atlanta SC. Cough, cough, the Silverbacks. Paul Tyson can't handle the ball there, but the Revs could not capitalize on that opportunity, and then that's a card.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, Paul Tyson got away with that one. Completely misjudged that cross there. And
Soggy Hirsch got a yellow.
yeah, if Cameron was a yard further back there, that would have been a tapping.
Chattanooga FC are also up 2-0 over Bug Eaters, and it looks like Nathaniel Johnson is in a yoga position trying to stretch his calf muscles while play is stopped.
One thing I've noticed, we haven't really tested Paul Tyson in the air in this game, and that's the real first ball we put in near him, and he didn't deal with it too well. So it should be something that we look to do in the last 10 minutes here, is really get some balls into the box and see how he deals with it.
Greenville FC have the ball. Played in the David.
That emergency defending that the Revs are so good at.
A string of very careless slide tackles, but the Revs come out just okay. Now a free kick to George Revolution.
Yellow card, number 31, Tom Richardson.
Jagger has the ball. And let's call that a dummy there. As we're trying to get the ball to Soggy Hirsch. Soggy Hirsch to Kenny.
Corner.
Corner kick.
Yeah, big opportunity for the Revs here.
Who's going to take it? Looks like Jack. Jack, there we go. Jack's coming up for the corner kick. And next week, fellas, we have the I don't know if it's a rivalry right now, but it's definitely a match you want to win.
Yeah,
Atlanta SC.
Anytime you have two teams in the same cities, even if it's a new team, it's always going to be a rivalry. The Atlanta Derby is always special.
Oh!
Yeah, pushing the back there.
But a great opportunity for the Revs.
Yeah, more of that.
Great delivery from Jack again. Yeah, we're looking at that game next week and definitely want some payback from last season. I mean, obviously the really disappointing performance at home, but then going away to Atlanta, and I thought we were really unlucky to lose that game, but I know we'll be desperate to get some payback for last season on Atlanta.
Yeah, and the fact that they are actually technically the title holders in the conference right now, so it'll be really good to go up there and see if we can get a
Hey,
win.
man, how do they do in the playoffs?
Yeah, we managed to go to Nashville. They were the reigning champs last year and win, so hopefully the Revs can do the same this year at Atlanta.
Yeah, for sure. Now Jamie North's ball cuts away and makes the defender
Handball.
slip. Handball in favor of George Revolution. George Revolution, 88th minute, going to be a lot of stoppage time, but we want to go here, and then maybe we can get the go-ahead goal in that stoppage time.
Yeah, the guys really got to start turning it up now. It's getting pretty late in the game. This will be the time to really throw the kitchen sink forward, so to speak.
The first match of the year, unfortunately, we got the weird schedule where we play before everyone else in the conference. And we don't have those D1 players, so you can't get a...
Ooh, I don't know about that one.
Yeah, great tackle for me, that one.
The referees seem to be in a bad position to call that.
Looks like Jamar's going to get a card for dissent here.
Yeah.
But again, hats off to the
looks like he
support.
got
They've been rowdy all night.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody's left. It's still everybody was here from the start, so it's a testament to these guys.
And a substitution coming up for George Revolution.
Jean was going to come on, and there's one reason that is definitely for the aerial ability. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go maybe up front here, in the centre back.
Interesting to see who's going to be coming off.
Got to be one of the smaller players, maybe someone who's played a lot of minutes, maybe.
Yeah, maybe Brahan.
Possibly, yeah, but Jean will offer something that no one else does in the field with his aerial ability.
Revolution play it back goalkeeper. Now, long ball over the top. Number of guys there. Jamar Oakley. Oh! No call.
It's a tough one to see from here, but I think he might have got a touch on the ball. But I can't see. It's a tough one to see.
Yeah, that's one of those bang bang that's really hard to call, especially in weather conditions like this.
And if he did, that was an absolutely goal-saving challenge, probably. One of the tackles of the season already.
That's our second nomination for MLS Review. So Bobby
Daniel
Warshaw.
Johnson's coming off for Gianmara.
We're going to go.
Yeah, first time Nate's played 90 minutes in a while as well. I'm not surprised that he maybe came off right at the end here.
Tomorrow.
Huh? We'll probably have to go onto the beach.
Yeah.
This is terrible. Yeah,
And a
these late
substitution.
Yeah, these late substitutions are definitely going to add a couple more
Yeah.
minutes on.
Adrian Nunez comes out of the match. He has to be man of the match for Greenville, right?
yeah.
Nunez. He's played great. Hats off to him. Fantastic effort by Nunez.
Oh, that's bad.
A bad giveaway there by the
Oh,
Revolution.
what a recovery.
Jack Gurk kind of slow to get back on defense, though.
Yeah, he's run a lot tonight, Jack. He must be absolutely knackered. A lot of these Revs lads, to be fair to them, have give it the role the second half, and hopefully they can get that goal.
Weird ball played to Jack Gurr. Jack Gurr controls it nonetheless. Gets it back into Pascal. Pascal, nice turn. Gets it to Brenna. Gamara. Plays up the field. Good ball. Corner kick.
Yeah, we'll definitely see Jean Mo up here. Yeah, here we go. And I wouldn't be surprised if he headed in an equaliser.
Ball played in the box. Pascal cuts in. Pascal sends it across. Way too much sauce. The Gamara takes a shot over the crossbar.
Jack Gurr was.
Excuse me, Jack Gurr.
And he's very capable of putting them goals in. Not sure how much the refs added here, but I expect another 2 or 3 minutes at least.
This has to be a promising second half for the Revs, though. The Revs have looked very good, and if we play like this for 90 minutes, we're going to have a very good season.
Yeah, and let's not forget, this isn't the same Greenville team we played last year.
Oh,
they've had a year in the league to adjust. And
Greenville has a chance now. Ball played back.
Ooh.
A lot of players slipping. Jack Gurr slips. Rodrigo, very quirky ball played. Another tackle. Long string of weird events on the field right now.
Oh, Cameron.
Corner kick after Cameron St.
Yeah, looks
Mitchell
like the
at their tackle.
Another one of them players who'll pick up a few yellow cards this season.
Yeah, for sure. We're into the 3rd minute of stoppage time. 3rd minute and 34 seconds to be exact. You have a prediction on how much stoppage time we're going to get?
I'll probably say 5 minutes, or if I was guessing, so maybe another 1 to 2 left. Maybe one more chance.
Well, the Reds have their back against the wall, and this is when they're best for sure. We saw great comebacks last season. Hopefully we can make another one right here at the end of the game. But corner kick for Greenville. Ball played off the crossbar.
What a shot.
Fantastic effort.
Well, as I was saying, it's not the same Greenville team from last year. They've pretty much completely switched everything up, and with experience, they're obviously a better team. I mean, they did play the Charleston Battery earlier in the week and did go down there and beat them.
They did.
They're no slouch. I think, I don't know if, well, of course, part of our podcast didn't go through because of the corrupted file, but I did mention in that podcast that with New Orleans and Knoxville, not coming back this year, that talent gets dispersed amongst the teams that are already here. So all that talent between those two teams are now dispersed evenly amongst the 6 remaining teams, and our teams were already strong to begin with. Now you're just, increasing it, twice basically.
Yeah, I wouldn't want anyone forces to disperse talent though.
Yeah, in respect to them, I mean, they're probably the weakest team in the league, but I think all 6 teams now is pretty even, and it's going to be a very competitive conference.
At least they weren't the discoveries. We can all agree to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Greenville.
Jamie North plays it back, and Greenville sends it up. And that's the final whistle. From McDonough, Georgia, Greenville FC come down and get their first win against Georgia Revolution in club history with a 2-1 victory. Make sure you tune in for the Revs Live podcast and the match next week as we travel up to Atlanta SC to take on our rival. Signing off from McDonough, Georgia, I'm Ryan Molesky, Justin Murphy, and Lewis Sharpie.